Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another casted from the Trash Can League. This time it's going to be Herbie Master taking on Alligator, and game number 1 will be played on Dakota. So this is round number 2. It's the first time I'm actually seeing Herbie Master play this series, and Alligator for that matter, so I'll be very interested to see how these two players go about it. So game number 1, Herbie will be playing as the Incan civilization. He'll be spawning into the northwest of the map in the colour red. Looking at his explorer, walking past a native tomahawk. 70 foods on the other side of his pond. Will he see this? Let's have a quick look. Yeah, he does see that. He also sees an immature bear cub. So actually, if you got the bear cub first, that could take down these other two treasures exceptionally fast. So we'll check back on him to see how he progresses. His opponent, Alligator, spawning down into the southeast of the map in the colour blue, playing as the Germans today. Opening up with an early market, following a standard build order here for the Germans. He's gone forward. He's actually got this black bear treasure under contention as well. But the thing is, Herbie, he knows this treasure is being taken. He's obviously taken his 70 food first, but he will come back. Looking at the mature black bear cub there. Alligator, he may come back again, but he might just tag it and thinking, you know what, it's gone back, I've messed this up, it's not worth it, let me just carry on my scouting pattern. And he's going to take up a tomahawk treasure, which is actually quite nice. Also, what's really nice is these bandits give 20 experience points for the kill, so that's one treasure kill there will speed his shipment along by about 3 seconds, which, you know, every little helps. It certainly is important to get those 2 settler wagons out as fast as possible. And I think Alligator's spamming that shipment as we speak. There we go, 2 settler wagons in as fast as possible. So good stuff there from Alligator. Herding underneath this town centre is pretty decent. He does successfully kill his bison. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the settler wagons go into the town centre and onto the bison even before this bison is extinguished, just to maximise the gathering time from these very strong settlers. Gathering twice as fast, and does it as the bison is extinguished, but on the ball they're moving the settlers across, and that's what we like to see, is players taking good consideration of their early eco management. Unless Alligator's just randomly clicking across the map, he's just gone past a 85 wood treasure. I would imagine his crack shot is recharged and ready to go again, considering the last time he took a crack shot was over here, so it's taking a bit of time to recharge. Getting his tomahawk in to help out deal with the damage. But actually, if Alligator crack shotted this treasure and got on with it already, this tomahawk is a nice unit to actually form a forward scouting barrier. What you don't want to have is your enemy explorer walk through this line and you not know about it. If you know about it, you can probably push him away with the tomahawk, and that can speed on your treasure and just kind of give you a bit of a heads up. He's nearby actually, yeah. Herbie's explorer's on the left hand side, he's coming across. But Alligator does pick up the 85 wood treasure there. Age up comes in at a good time. Not really too much idle there. Does pick off a few units down to the south, units to the top. I like how with these settler wagons on these trees, this tree in particular, and I guess this tree as well, is actually quite a short distance between moving from the wood to the coin. So instead of, let's say, I suppose if Alligator did like stupid, like put his settler wagons in the town centre and go onto this tree, then that tree is quite far away from the other 2 mines, but it's a short walk from the bisons to the trees to the mine. Dropping down a trading post in transition, going for the far eastern trading post, trying to keep them out as harm's way for as long as possible away from Herbie's potential aggression here. Herbie likely to be aging up here with the 2 war huts. I don't really see any reason to not age up with the chief age up here and get 2 builder travois in the second age. And versus a map, versus Germans not necessarily wanting to go aggression, but they do require a bit of map control for mines. I wouldn't be surprised to see Inca put down 2 war huts in this middle choke position here, secure the gold mine, maybe thinking of going onto the trading line or contesting the German trading line itself. But we'll have to see where these travois go and what they want to do. And they look like to be moving to the forward location, as we see. Yeah, right in the middle of the map, you can see by the waypoint. 600 wood, though. First card in coming from Herbie. His deck says 1v1 age 2. I don't think Alligator, when he does check the deck, gets to see what the deck is actually called. But Infinite Wood reduces the 4 llamas, triple unit shipment, and the Plumed Spearman coin card as well. Let's look at this one. So that's his 8 Plumed Spearman. and teach them how to increase their melee attack speed. So they do attack faster. Essentially, it's just an attack boost by quite a bit, and 20% faster does mean a relative attack boost of 25%. So that's a strong card if you've ever seen it. Doesn't boost their siege though, but hand attack, that's extra 25% effective damage over a prolonged period of time. So that's very interesting to see. Alligator scouts mid-map. Tomahawk being annoying on the villager. I don't know why the villager's forward though, because they've got the war hut to build the Travars anyway. The villager doesn't need to do anything here. Can get into the war hut and avoid the kill here by the Tomahawk and Explorer. I guess it's just annoying exploring getting this killed by the double war hut as well. So that's going to get an extra batch of experience points there for the Incan player. The Chasqui runs into the base, wants to try and see what Alligator's trying to do in base stable here. I feel versus Inca double racks forward, stables do work. Essentially, the only way Herbie can chase down the Ulans here from Alligator is with Chimus, and with enough batches of Ulans you get from the batch from the stable and more of the shipments, you should be able to overwhelm and outmass a Chimu spam. But I imagine Herbie here will be looking to go mixed bowman and spearman, or go spear heavies at least. So if the cavalry want to do anything special here from the German player, would have to go into the base and raid in. But some really nice herding here from Herbie. That's 2 hunts plus the starting bison herded in. So there's no other hunts nearby, but what he has herded in is going to survive, allow him to gather for a long time. Did Herbie see the Zulans going topside? He may have actually seen them come across this and reform on this side, but they're going into base. Villagers will get into the town centre, and the game continues. Certainly sees the 7 earns in the base now with the extra 5 batch. The massive units starting to grow on the outside of Alligator's base though, but Herbie is waiting for a timing push, it looks like. Doesn't want to go too fast now. All his villagers though idled in the town centre. Could get a batch of 8 out and just try and punch this down. If you had 8 villagers, that's a punch, that's a kill. Just a lot of tentative play at the backside at the moment. Ooh, villager low HP there, but I think Herbie's got the idea of trying to split some Vil fire. That Vil, actually gets destroyed. Pathing on the wrong side. I think that's the problem. What happened there was Herbie had all 18 villagers there leave the town centre at the same time to try and task onto an elk. So villagers on this side got there quite safely. Villagers this side would have to path around the cavalry, and that probably caused the villager there to go down instead of pop 8 villagers out and micro only those units instead of all of them. We do see Plume Spearman being sent here by Herbie at home to defend from the raids. Alligator thinks possibly there are more villagers, stays around for a little bit too long, and will lose 2 lands as a result. And yeah, some good damage there from the Plume Spearman. In the meantime though, putting pressure on that forward market. We do see 1 villager in the town centre putting some residue damage onto the Plume Spearman, but nothing too special here. Batch of crossbows do come out from Alligator. Another batch of Volans ready to pick. I think this could be a good pickup from Alligator, especially if the Plume Spearmen take their time to engage the Ulans. Crossbows behind, just enough to do enough damage onto the Plume Spearmen to get a really cost-effective trade. And yeah, the Spearmen and the 2 bows from the trading post duty will come back. Let's look at Alligator's point of view. Just quite a few villagers on the tree line chopping. These guys, where are they chopping? We do see no gangsword just yet. Ulan's going in for another raid topside. Crossbows being sent behind here. We do have enough wood here for another full batch of crossbows. Could see a church come down just to get the extra experience points as well incoming. But the experience points you get from the fighting as well, also very nice. Ulan's, forming that front line, baiting the spearmen in, but there's enough crossbows behind. Double batch from the barracks as well as an 8 shipment is going to be just enough to pick these Plume Spearmen off really fast as they come out. Ulan's going a little bit too deep there, but I think so far the fight here hasn't gone too bad here for Alligator. A couple of spearmen out the front. The Incan Explorer though, high HP tank, will be tough to take him down. Alligator though can't really break that forward base, so we'll be looking to try an age behind. I think he's going to cut production here from the mining the wood, get the food, and then send 700 coin afterwards to get the age up in. Let's look at Herbie's point of view. Here comes the 700 coin. More villagers in production behind, but starting to look to go into that Fortress Age macro here, sending in the coin to get the jump to the age afterwards. Still gathering wood to get a batch of bows. These bowmen do cost a bit of food each, not too much. I think it's only 20 or 30. Yeah, 20 wood a batch. So if you can get another 40 wood, that's going to be another 3 bows, and that's enough bows here, you know, to cause the crossbows trouble if they push. But there's not really many plumed spearmen behind here from Herbie. He's lost most of those already to the crossbows. Some good micro there from Alligator. Bowman spawning the wrong side there. We'll instantly lose one bowman as a result of that. And we'll also, you know, Herbie, knowing that Alligator knows what Herbie's just made, Alligator's seen lots of jungle bowmans being made, which is okay. I think that gives Alligator confidence because he knows it's not a Chimu mass or Chimu switch coming in from behind, so not too scared coming from here. Well, speaking of a no Chimu switch incoming, actually Herbie is going for a batch of 10 here after, you know, using the coin to mass produce Chimus, which is, you know, a very cheeky play. I just assumed the 1,000 food into the 700 coin would be a nice way to age up and get your elite plumed archers to deal with, you know, the crossbow mass and, you know, what with Alligator wants to do afterwards. Lionheart dropping in with what these guys' yellows are at. I think both players are comfortable 1,700 players. Maybe 1,700 is the ceiling. I wouldn't want to say higher. I have been very impressed with Herbie's level of play recently. I haven't actually taken a game off Herbie for a long while now. Alligator, we've had many close games. All our games are close, but I've managed to tactically outplay the guy on the last few occasions. 17 Chimu runners now in from Herbie, sending in a batch of 6 Chimus and producing a batch of jungle bowmans. You can see this timing attack is going to be very, very strong, especially since this is a 3-unit combination and Alligator trying to age up here, which naturally just feels the right play to do. From my point of view, I can see what's coming in, and Alligator, the best way to hold this is get one Doppelsonder in queue straight away. You never have to train the unit, but as soon as you have that unit in queue, that gives you that safety net when you age. And I think it's a nice habit for German players to get into. It's just have an Ulan in queue, have a Dopp in queue. Depending on what you see, you can cancel one unit, complete the batch of the other units, and that way when you do age up, you do have something to at least stand for. Having all this food behind is nice, but it's, you know, it's going to be quite awkward. Now the age up's coming in, no shipment. That church was never thrown down here for Alligator, especially losing that trading post. Here comes the Chimu, is Colonial Ulans, and Ulan is being trained, but no Vet. Vet's been teched up now, but Alligator knows he's in trouble. The fight's being taken. Herbie is forcing the fight now. Alligator, which he doesn't really want. Batch of 5 will come out. Veteran Ulans will be tech, but all these Ulans will be down before the tech comes in. You know, they will trade still, you know, pretty decently, but it's just not ideal. Minutemen do come up from behind. Only one set wagon in the town centre, just normal villagers out tanking for the time being, could get that in. Shipment ready to go, obviously micro here from Alligator, getting away from the Plume Spearmen on the south, trying to get onto the Bowmans, push the Bowmans back. Minutemen doing some really good damage here on the Plume Spearmen and the Chimus, and so far, I wouldn't say it's a cleanup, it's a decent hold here from Alligator. He's trading in his, you know, H2 army for position and able to, you know, send in reinforcements, which he's got a batch of skirms on the queue, he's got his Vet Ulan tech, now sends 9 Ulans behind this, and Herbie with his exposed mass of jungle bowman, his reinforcements may be a batch of 5 Plume Spearmen, 3 Chimus. It's going to be 10 Plume Spearmen, but you see it's going to be, the Plume Spearmen is going to be nice, but the skirms from Alligator will come out, and that should be enough with some decent micro to, you know, protect the Ulans and let the Ulans have a field day on these low HP bowmen. 90 HP as well. Let's look at this. This is important. 90 HP, 44 attack Ulans. Oh my god, it's going to be a 3-hit kill. So close to being a double hit kill. And maybe in this matchup, next card here from German could be a tactical cav combat to ensure that 2-hit kill. But that may be a bit too niche. A lot of wood here for Alligator. I'm going to assume quite a lot of that has come from the market trades and does have the coin mines down to the south. Obviously knows of this coin mine to his northern position as well, so he's not short of resources. He knows where to gather afterwards. Quickly want to check before he does have placer mines on his villages. No amalgamation, but 350 remaining. He's got single rack, single stable, so I guess it's going to be 2 houses, 3 houses, really. There's nothing else for that wood to be spent on. Maybe a church, if he wants to make good use of that remaining odd 50 kind of wood left over. But he's just waiting for the skirmisher shipments to come in and flow through. And we saw from Aligator, although that push under his town centre was a difficult position for him, and did lose a decent amount of villas, 21 villagers, 8 set wagons. I want to say probably about 2 regular villagers went down there. The fight actually managed to give both players experience points, which is very nice. Herbie gets to send his next batch of the bowman coming in. He's got another shipment ready to go now. From this point of view, I guess it would be the Kurari bowman upgrade would be very nice. But Alligator also got a bunch of experience points, and out come 9 vet Ulan, 8 skirm plus 3 Ulans as well. He's just got a mass out of nowhere. 17 skirmishes here, 20 veteran Ulans about to push into this. Chimus, who come out northern side, one instantly gets picked off here by the skirmishers. Alligator's looking to siege this, but might just be better just running through the war huts and trying to chase down, especially once you see these units. Spearman topside though, Alligator knows that he just Z-move here with his skirmishers will get decent picks anytime they shoot, and just keeping his Ulans back. Another batch of units about to come out, 3/4 of the way to another shipment, and that will give him another power spike which he could bounce off of. And Alligator taking the score lead, got the military lead, doesn't really need to take a fight he doesn't want to take at the moment. And the Incan economy behind this, 12 capture houses, not fully maxed out on the captures. I think there's one more available you can throw down. 34 vills is nice, but it's not really the same size as Alligator's 32 plus set wagon economy. Or even if it's not, you get extra eco from the Ulans coming in from the shipments, which really help along. Hey, shipment's nearly about coming in from Alligator. I have a feeling he's just waiting for cav combat, because the cav combat's that's the only type of shipment you really hold back your fights before you engage. Waiting for 8 Ulans is nice, but it's just such a nice feeling when you take a fight and the fight's kind of gone, both players engaging, there's only a couple units left, and then a whole new wave of 14 Ulans just turn up out of nowhere. The 9+5 just come in and just clean up. It's such a nice feeling, but out they come. Now, Alligator's actually changing to 1,000 coins. It will take a long time for that shipment to roll through. He's taking this fight at this moment. A couple of spearmen forward onto these Ulans. They move back. Chimu's going top side, but they want to stay next to the spearmen. If anything, just group the spearmen and the Chimus together in the same control group. Yes, the Chimus may take a little bit longer to get onto the Ulans, but the awkward mix of them, because they mix in very well together. It's not like they, Chimus front line, Plymouth spearmen at the back. They kind of awkwardly kind of merge together in a big blob. It makes it quite hard for Alligator to micro that, and Herbie's just moving back. He's going to try and let the war huts do the business, but another shipment's gone through, being gathered up. Another 3 Ulans on the field. Dop Ulan in queue behind this. And Alligator's just happy massing on the Fortress Age shipments. And so he should. He's got 1k coin now. Needs a little bit more villagers on the hunting, which he's moving them across from the coin shipments. So all these will go onto the deer. These guys, they do have their steel traps behind here. Enough coin to buy wood at the market to throw down some houses if need be. And the game at the moment is looking finally poised. Alligator's controlling it seems. Is the sense I'm kind of going for at this moment. Silver Shield, if you want to see my beautiful face. Wait, you have to wait in between games while I throw on the intermission screen. Otherwise, you just see me talking at the screen for the whole of this game duration. I'm currently into 17 minutes now. Vet Ulans moving left side, trying to go for a raid. Spearman, I think they're trying to path down to the southern side of this cliff to try and have a little nosy on the mine and maybe the hunting grounds over here to see if the German player has moved out. But Pathing nearly puts the spearmen right into the German army, which Herbie definitely did not want to happen. Another batch of Ulans out. It's 36 now on the field, and it is very, very nearly time for cav combat. He does have 1,000 resources. It's so tempting to go Jaegers. I think Jaegers will also do very well versus the Bowmen, but you do have a decent skirmisher mass. He's sending cav combat, and that fills me with joy to see that. I think that's the correct decision here from Alligator. Yes, you do have lots of coin left over, but that can be invested into full batches behind this. But when you do move in with her Vet Cav Combat, it's so strong. Although, you know, taking the fight before the shipment's in is one thing. Chimu's getting on top of the skirmishers as well, so Alligator's just looks like he's fighting with 2 control groups here, ranged infantry and cavalry, but dropping the control groups and just literally drag boxing half your Uhlans one side, half the other way will do a really decent job. Skirm's just taking the full brunt of action here from the Spearman, and Chimu's, this has not gone well here for Alligator. Cav Combat still not in. What is going on? Is this a massive tide of just the fortunes of the players turning? Yes, a couple of Uhlans back at base idling, but yeah, this is Chimu runner mixed in with Plume Spearman, just a notoriously awkward unit combo to deal with. It's like the Aztec Spearman and the Coyote Runners. That's just prime Z move territory, and cavalry can't read Z move it. Actually, only here there's not many Spearmen, but yeah, that was certainly a bit awkward there from Alligator. And if Alligator has a decisive lead, he's now just in the lead. It's not decisive. This could go back into Herbie's favour now. Got to be careful that he doesn't isolate his jungle bowman, and Herbie is just now trying to push the natural resources on the map. He knows what he wants to target. It's the coin mine. This coin mine's just extinguished, and Herbie's marching all his units to the top side to secure this gold mine, but it only takes 10 Chimu runners just to ruin the entire German eco. Nice raid down here, though, with these 4 Vet Uhlans. That is a really nice play. It is keeping Herbie on his toes, but here comes the Chimus. Where are those Doppelsonders that have been trained a while back? They have been absolutely fantastic here. Mass Chimu here from Herbie, cutting through just enough. I think Uhlans here are going to do enough. I think he's maybe overpricing, but there is a couple cheeky spearmen hidden underneath the ranks of the Chimu runners, and losing all of this mass here from German feels bad. It's okay though, he's got another Uhlan shipment being sent behind this. Doesn't get a full batch of Uhlans though from the stable. That is not ideal. Only has 6 on the field, bringing back the 4 which is raiding, but loses 2 going through the wall huts and reinforcing spearmen. And Herbie's definitely taking the military lead. Alligator still has the quality in the units, but the problem he faces now is as soon as he can't hold the fight and defend his resources at the same time. And if Herbie actually notices this, he could be on for a winner. Do you see a couple of spearmen moving down to maybe protect his villagers? He is trying to keep this pressure on Alligator's base coming in, which is very nice to see, but actually could be a not a great move here from Herbie. As soon as he notices that the coin eco here from the German player is out on the map unprotected, he should be turning his attention elsewhere. Uhlans charging straight into ranks of 8 spearmen there. That's not ideal, especially as this is basically your last kind of breakout shipment of cavalry. Got to be very careful how you use this. And he's just baiting the spearmen forward. Spearmen going into cover mode, protecting themselves a bit more from the skirmishers. There's just too many villagers on a silver mine. You can only take 20 total, so he has to basically put these remaining villagers onto the coin mine. Maybe put the villagers on the hunt and these settler wagons onto the coin mine to maximise the coin inco. Most of the anti-cav has now gone down here from Herbie, but his eco behind's not too disrupted. So I think reinforcements here from Herbie should be possible. Although the score at the moment is not great, doesn't have another shipment ready to come. Just the infinite wood and the plume spearmen, but fighting into war huts, the coin mine, nice path in. He could just get behind the coin mine. That way the Uhlans are basically ineffective. Yeah, Alligator can't push that. He's backing off, and another coin mine is only 500 on the southern side, and then these villagers are definitely idle. They have to go back onto the hunt. These villagers can go to the top mine here. It's, I don't think Alligator would assume this mine is taken. He would assume it's been eaten up already by the Incan player. But Chimu runners, they're speculating. They're thinking of going for a visit to the top side. And if they do, the game will be over. It has to. He's going down to the southern side. Has he seen the villagers down here? I think he has. Herbie. Oh, he hasn't. Maybe he's checked the coin mine, seen that the coin mine's been gathered a little bit. But yeah, we'll have to have a see. Yes, he's found the coin mine, and Alligator's army is at position. He's just waiting for them at Herbie to go back through the front door, as you'd say. But Herbie just making the most of this central map control around these 2 cliffs. Jabs at these villagers, retreats back. He knows that this coin mine is nearly out, and Herbie should know that there's a couple of coin mines on the northern side. At the moment, there's not too many Chimmy runners here from Herbie. You feel that versus Ulan's Skirm, just mass Chimmy runners is what you really need. Plume Spearmen have their place, to actually destroy the Ulans in connection. But when you're having more Spearmen than Chimus, the skirmishes then actually work really well. It's the Chimmy mass with a few Spearmen is the real nightmare for the German player, because it's really hard to micro the Plume Spearmen from the skirmishes and then you protect your Ulans. And obviously the Chimus, with their such small surface area, they get a great engagement on these chunky cavalry. But Herbie backing off a little bit. Notice how Herbie's score has closed in drastically since earlier. He was like 5k down after a fight, but now it's getting a bit closer. The eco here from the Incan player is better, the unit production is better, and the Ulans are backing off, but just leaving the skirmishers out to dry at the moment. The lack of doppelsonders here from Alligator is really hurting them at the moment, and yes, the Chimu, Plume Spearman, Z move on the cavalry. There's nothing really else here to protect the Ulans. They do go down, and another army trade-off with the skirmishers working on the spearmen, but the bowmen behind, they're just getting free reign. There's nothing here really taking on them. Yes, there's about 7 Ulans here. Just run back to the war hut. You got another big batch of spearmen on the way. You could sell some food now and actually get your plume spearman upgrade. That'll be a good time to get this in. And this game's still not over yet. Another equal fight, and the coin situation here from the German player is onto the final stretches. It's getting pretty dire. Only 2k remaining. A lot of low HP Ulans here going down. One Ulan going down to the poison. Another going down to the poison over there. Jungle Bowman is such a strong unit in this sense. The Skirm mass looking very limited as well. What's Alligator's pit situation? He's got another shipment, but I'm right if he's got nothing to send. 7 Skirm, 3 War Wagon. You could try and sell wood for a Jaeger ship, but honestly, it's the Chimus when they come out here from the war hut. It's just gonna, that could, you can't risk going Jaegers if they're not having enough anti-cav. So he's going 1k wood. This might be time. This might be Alligator preparing to go into plantations, which is not what you really want. Another strategy Alligator could try and do is just utilize this final bit of coin, age up to the 4th age, but age up with the Papal Guard, and yeah, triple racks, guard, crossbow, guard, pikeman production. It's never an ideal situation, but sometimes when you're into when you've got a decision, it's thinking, do I want to make guard, pikeman, or crossbows, or do I need to make like 3 estates and try and get a slow coin eco from there and carry on in Fortress Age? I think this is that rare time you'd want to think about going to the next stage, but this is going to be real disastrous really quickly for one of his players. Villagers moving to the northern coin mine, they will see this mine operation here from Germany, and Herbie will know exactly what is up. From Herbie, we do see that the Plume Spearman tech has come in, so these guys attack a little bit faster. 1.2 seconds between each attack, so an effective attack increase of 25%. Nice strong upgrade. Another 8 on the field as well. Ulan's going topside. They see the villagers. The villagers gone back, but actually they're being intercepted here by the bowmen and spearmen. Alligator has to basically push back the bowmen with a Z move, but keep them back away. And do we see any doubles from Alligator just yet? No, we do not, but he does have enough wood here for another plantation. Just got 8 settler wagons. Most of his settler wagons topside, so you wouldn't be surprised to see a estate come down in this position here. Maybe a couple of war wagons would be nice. Estate back at home is nice, but this is a long way back here for the villagers to traverse, and all this is just no unit reinforcements. And yeah, although estates out on the map is technically a bad idea, Alligator's just not producing. He's just flat out not producing. Nothing's coming in. Maybe it's time to go into Cree settlement, get CDB, getting your 5% HP on your units. This is a huge tech. If Cree Town came in earlier with the 5 CDB, 5% HP on all these Orlands with the amount of times, a couple of these Orlands might survive with the poison damage as well in that sense. And then, these Cree trackers, so high HP, great tanks. And 80 wood a piece is quite expensive, but you've just sent it into 1k wood at this later point. That could have been the settlement and 10 Cree, which is certainly not an insignificant shipment in that sense when you think of it in that way. More Skirm Ulan being trending from Alligator, coin heavy, and it's starting to run very low. He's got 800 here. Does Alligator think that estates still cost 800 wood? They do cost only 600. But yeah, that's fully saturated. He's got all his set wagons back as well. He's just timed himself up for the later game. I did see him get bookkeeping upgrades, so these guys gather a little bit faster on the estate, but I need to remember the amount of walking time does make it a bit awkward. Herbie's caught up in score, and still spamming units, but Herbie, if you just age up here and just research Vet Chimu, Vet Plume, Vet Jungle Bowman, this army will become unkillable. And you can get the age 3 tech from the War Hut, the big button upgrade, to give yourself an extra armor for all your units as well. So just lots of strong things. And we do have the melee infantry combat for your Plume Spearmen as well. Does it affect Chimus? No, it does. It does affect Chimu. That's Chimu Plume Spearmen combat. That's a huge card to come in. And actually, Herbie was tempted to go for the engage there, but what he really needs to remember is that if the Chimus can engage the Ulan skirms, they don't actually get the snare off, but at least forces the Ulans to stop and fight, and that allows the time for the Plume Spearmen to close in and engage. And now, when you have all the Spearmen and Chimus on top, if the cavalry move any further back, then it's just infantry on skirms, and the skirms get destroyed. This is a rare time where you kind of want the Ulans in front of your skirms to kind of protect the skirmishers, so that at least they use their rifles and fire. And just, this is going to be an utter cleanup here. No war dance here from the Incan player, no community plaza, no nothing, but just the overwhelming units is just crushing this fight. Alligator on triple plantation at home, not a great eco behind, and I don't think he can come back from this position here. He's utilised all his natural resources, still on single barrack, single stable production here, not really enough to get back in. He got his second barracks as well, but only a small batch of runs here, not going to be what he needs versus mass Chimu Bowman, and the Plume Spearmen are not getting focused down here by skirmisher fire. And yes, this is where kind of like musketeer civs, halberdiers, doppels, they do very well versus Inca actually. Bowman, they do have multipliers versus heavy infantry, and the poison damage does quite well, but it's actually the poison damage kind of makes up for this low attack stat here from Jungle Bowman. And heavy infantry don't really suffer poison as much as other units like low HP skirmishers, and the game's over. And Herbie taking that first game 1-0, and where is my where is my scoreboard? That's the one thing I've completely forgot, is my scoreboard. I'll change that in a second, but let's look at the post game. I want to see at the end that coin eco, because remember, this was triple plantation, but it's just nowhere near enough to the coin eco that Alligator had 10 minutes prior to that position. And even then, this is a lot of time where he's walking around, then gets onto the coin mine, then walks around, then gets onto a coin mine. So investing 1800 wood into slower gathering res, also teching bookkeeping worth 300 wood, 300 food. That's so expensive, and just watching it all go down. And the Incan eco at that moment in time just taking off. There was a moment in time where Alligator, he'd be kicking himself because he has such the military population lead, the strength as well, but just the fight that Herbie took with the mixture of the Plume Spearman and the Chimu switch is what really made things difficult there for Alligator. Just Alligator couldn't deal with it, just skirm Ulan, and I think for Alligator this is one of those, okay, this has happened, now I know what to do in the future. When he come back for the next game, gets this matchup, it's like, right, I know what I can do, I know what I definitely can't. So that will come in. Cool, yeah, that's a good game, and we'll move on into the next game. Right, I do need to get my scoreboard up. So obviously the scoreboard is there on the other screen, but it's governed by an extra program. Don't copy my mouse's work. That's quite annoying. Oh, it comes on the screen as well. Need to Alt Tab. That's the one. That's the combo I'm looking for. It's DC something. There it is. Hey, there's my scoreboard. So how my scoreboard works, if anyone's interested, is it's just a program where it's called Death Counter and Soundboard. I don't know why, but I've got it hotkeyed, so I press Control F10 to switch, and then F12 to give a point, F11 to minus a point, give a point. But I don't have to be in this program to activate it, so it's always on in the background. So when I'm in Age of Empires, I can just press this button, and there you go. So let's see if I was to go back And yeah, the scoreboard's updated to 1-0. So even though you don't see it on this screen, on the other scene you will see it. But yeah, straight into game number 2 of this play all series between Herbie Alligator. Oh yeah, the Cav combat being sent, it was so painful to watch it. Oh well, let's hope you don't do something silly this game as well. We're in game number 2. This is Great Plains. So this is player A's home map. That is Herbie Master. So Herbie wanting to play as Great Plains. Now Herbie won the last game as well, so he had to pick his civilization first, and he's gone for the British pick on Great Plains. And he'd be spawning down to the southwestern map in the colour red. Would you see Alligator spawning to the northeastern map in the colour blue, playing as the Russians? One of the things I've noticed on Great Plains, I noticed it as soon as it came out, and the devs have said they have reduced the number of them, but there's many coin treasures on the map, and each of these beaver treasures, they certainly pack a punch, ranging from about 20 coin up to 50. There's a 40 coin there, there's a 40 coin behind Alligator's base, there's another coin treasure here, that's 40, that's nearly 120. Alligator, he's got 100 wood left over. Like, if he can get this treasure, top treasure, he gets himself 85 wood. This is throw down a market right now. Market coming down, hunting dogs as well, and just make the most of the map is what I always say. Play to the map. Both civs here can make use of a market. We do see Herbie with the double manor house. But the thing in with Herbie's point of view, yes, he could go manor house, market, and hunting dogs by mining coin. But he's only got 30 coin from treasures. You can get the remaining 20 to get that hunting dogs in. But any other coin treasures he picks up on his map, when they're pretty plentiful, has to be said. There's a 40 over there. Maybe not as much this spawn compared to other spawns, but there's a 70 coin over here. That could be then used to buy another batch of wood. So then you do have the double manors, but you have the hunting dogs, you have the market, and you have the flexibility of having that market and coin eco early on in the game to kind of move resources around if you need to. And yeah, Herbie, second manor house instead of going for age 1 manor market, don't think it's much of an issue. But here from Alligator, oh, that is 100 wood in the bank in the coin, and you got 185 stockpiled. So that is a lot of wood left over. So that should be a very fast blockhouse in transition because he's not going for the market play. But if he goes for the market in transition while he ages up, it'll just feel sad, wouldn't it? It just feels sad. Like, look at all these resources, and then yeah, spend them in transition. But the H1 macro for Russia is quite tight with the reduction of the food crate here. So we'll see how the age up time is affected. It's getting close. He's up to 600. 10 more seconds of settlers coming in, and then he'll be clicking up. So I think there will be a decent portion, about 15 seconds idle. So we will see when he does click up. So about farm villages come out about 245. 100 food to go. When you're playing this time, it feels like it takes forever, but it's not actually super long. So he does click up 255 there. 256, I think his farm villages came out 242, 243, so let's say a maximum of 15 seconds of idle time in the first stage, but that's just Russia being Russia, and also quite a lot of that time is not, it is technically idle, but it's not really idle because of the faster training vills now. I think it's about 2.5 seconds per batch, I think, possibly. So you do get to potentially, theoretically, age up about 7.5 seconds earlier than you would do, but he couldn't because he didn't have the resources. So, the age one slowed down than pre-patch by about 7 seconds in total. Anyway, nothing significant. Market coming down now, hunting dogs in. Still chopping for the blockhouse, but it has the resources there to buy to get it down and get these villagers off wood at an earlier pace. So, with the markets, it is efficient to buy your first batch of wood. It is just cheap on villager seconds. Just get your villagers on food and coin away from wood, even though it feels sometimes right to chop. Just try and avoid it if you can when the market price is low. Your versus Herbie, he's going for mana boom. Let's look at Herbie's card progression. I don't think he's gone VC. No, he's gone. He got VC in the deck, but no opening training post because he went for double manas. He's just getting his market down now. Hunting Dog's in on the base coin and treasures, but has enough coin on the floor to get the steel traps, so that's where the government agent really shines. He does have one bison hunt hunted in, but he's got another deer hunt behind, and another bison behind this position as well. So, yeah, Herbie is not going to be starved of resources for a long time, and that already puts him in a favourable position versus Russia. Russia, they really do like poor maps, forcing fights outside the base. Opponent not really having a great eco because they have to have a lot of walking time. Herbie just at the moment is even getting grey coats this early. Look at this. This is an early grey coats from Herbie. Herbie's got the right idea straight away. He's going to sit in base, tuck up shop, and just wait for the Russian player to come in and just say, well, if you want to stop me gathering all this bison, you got to come in yourself. And let's check in to see Alligator and see what he's up to. So he's sending 5 Cossacks, training Strelets. I want to see his point of view. Okay, that's interesting. He's seen the early barracks, so he knows there's no early stable, which means he's gone for the early batch of Strelets here instead of Musketeers. Now, from Herbie's point of view, opening up barracks is risky in the sense that you can't open Longbow Pike at all. It's just Longbow Pike is not what you want in this matchup, because if you open pikes, they get killed by whatever infantry comes out from the barracks, which is going to be trained. Can't open Longbow because there's 5 Cossacks always coming in early here from Russia. You have to go Musketeers. But if your opponent scouts the barracks, well, it's not like the new African war camps where you can train every type of unit under the sun, which I fundamentally disagree with. I think that's a terrible decision. Only infantry come out of the barracks, so that's a safe Strelet batch here from Alligator, and he's causing the idle time. He's forcing the Musketeers back. The Musketeers can't take a fight versus these Strelets, and Alligator has got this momentum already just from one batch of units because of this building matchup that Russia has. He's chosen to make the right units due to what he's scouted in base, which I think is a very strong play here from Alligator. 700 wood though being sent behind. He does have. Oh, this is a Herbie. Alligator. Okay, he's sending 700 wood. He's got 100 wood behind, but he's going to go for another house. He's trained another batch of Strelets as well, so this is actually quite expensive to train 2 batches of Strelets before your 700 wood comes in. Obviously, these guys cost 100 wood, but they also take up 10 population, so each kind of unit here having like a rough cost of about 20 wood a piece, you know, to consider the unit cost and the housing cost. Especially now that block classes only give 5 population. So wood comes down, and yeah, I'm expecting to see a second blockhouse here, stable as well, which is right on the doorstep of the British player. Fast reinforcements. Coming back in for another push. Still not yet scouting that back stable. It's only coming down just now. But these settlers with the greatcoats, the Strelets, it's just like throwing rocks at them. They're not doing enough damage. And they're even 14 Strelets with 8 damage. Yeah, well, that's going to be... I don't know my 14 times table, but it's 80... 32 possibly? Yeah, 32. That's 112 damage. 2 volleys should be enough to pick up a settler, but certainly 1 volley is nowhere near getting damage. And that's enough time, especially in this close proximity to the tower and town centre. All villagers should be getting back to safety. Second blockhouse is coming down. These guys, they do have their steel traps. Home stable. I think this is just a German habit here coming from Alligator. There's no need for a home stable. I know cavalry move fast, but this is a non-zero distance for reinforcements, and sometimes you need those reinforcements as soon as possible, and especially if you're engaging in like a very scrappy game, low units, continuously fighting and trading. Every second you get those Cossacks on the field fighting instead of traveling the map makes all the difference. And especially protected by 3 blockhouses, it shouldn't ever really be sieged down. Like, I think the priority there for the Brit player would to take down the blockhouses before taking the stable down anyway in that sense. Anyway, Herbie here, a bit of RTC, but it's okay. He's got some Hussars in queue. Going for the 3rd batch of Hussar here. He's really trying to prioritise his big batch at the moment. Has enough food behind us. He does obviously have his steel trap eco. Could buy a batch of food here just to get. He's got a 6th Hussar. Q'd still Nova's been trained, but he's just trying it. Oh, he's gone for a batch of Minutemen as well. And actually, Musketeers fighting. Alligator's gone deep here. Cossacks here is going to help, but a big batch of Hussars. The Minutemen have gone wrong side. This is where you do make sure you use the military waypoint here, or have the option for only economic waypoints from the town centre. It helps a lot. Cossacks coming in. They've only just crossed a map. These are the 3 Cossacks being trained, and he's already taken the fight without these 3 Cossacks. And if you're thinking about Lancaster Square laws, just the amount of extra potential those extra 3 Cossacks could have done to the army and protected his other Cossacks on the field. At the moment, this looks to be a fine trade here for Herbie. The Minutemen doing some good, decent damage as well. Minutemen doing really good damage in melee mode, actually. They do the same damage compared to range, but they bypass the Cossacks' 30% range resist. So if you ever have the chance for Minutemen to go into melee mode versus cavalry, do it. It's worth it. 5 Hussars coming out from the stable. Another batch of Musketeers. Herbie master at 16 Musks. Here come another 2 batch of Musks. I think Herbie realised that he was potentially going to be losing his army there, so he's prioritised a unit shipment here instead of an upgrade. So now he's got 22 Musketeers. Big batch of Strelets here from Alligator. He's going to look as he's going to feel a bit confident, but only 3 Cossacks. These guys are quite low HP. And here comes a full batch of Hussars. Did see cavalry come in, but a big batch of Cossacks. Sell food, get the Cossacks out. He's only got 2 Cossacks out, but he needs them on the field now. The Strats are under pressure here from the Hussars. Coin being sent at home, I hope. Yes, it is being sent at home. And another shipment ready to go. At this point, you need units. Even if there is Hussars here, let's get the Strats being sent. Let's get a double batch of Musks being trained as well and try and hold on to the position. Well, that's a bit of a shame. Cossacks only getting a swing each onto the Musk and Huss before going down. And yeah, Herbie's going deep underneath the blockhouses, but he's feeling confident. He's got 3 Hussars on a batch of Strelets. There's no Musketeers out. And it's just his little bit of trades here and there. And Herbie's just taking the lead. It seems like he's in great position. Cavalry HP. This Hussar would have been dead by now if he didn't have his Cav HP. So that card making a lot of good use here from the British player. Let's check his deck behind this. He does have got 5 of those remaining. Got wood coming in behind. Has got Musk attack, which you feel Musketeer units. Their strength is their attack. They don't really have a high HP stat, and attack is always firing. But these units are not necessarily always taking damage. That's the kind of the idea where the infantry attack is better than HP. Another batch of reinforcements being picked off. Unfortunately, here from Alligator, he maybe was tempted to do something like a double batch train, so train them all at the same time. Here come the 5 Cossacks, and if the 5 Cossacks were hit, they could actually blocked off the Hussars, but these Strelets are they're running for their lives away from 7 Hussars, and that batch of Strelets is going down. Is that raiding base? No, it's just Explorer taking a tactical nap, and here comes a batch of another Cossacks. So that was the 4 Cossack shipment here coming from Alligator, it seems. Or that was yeah, maybe a couple Cossacks being trained, being pulled back, and then another batch being trained. More Cossacks being trained behind here. 5 that are still on wood, gathering. Not too sure. I got to strike production, but he's got a lot of coin gatherers now. There's no mercenary shipment available for the Russians in Age 2, and the food is what he desperately needs. He's only got a couple of deers at the back. And yeah, a big batch of Hussars now just crushing Cossack Strelet. And Cossack Strelet is... You think the Strelets can do with the Musks, and the Cossacks can hold the Hussars, but the problem is Mass Hussars counter both hard. The Strelets kind of... They try and focus the Musketeers, but the kind of AI sometimes attacks the Hussars, and at that point it's just much better to have Cossack Musketeer. So it's really efficient to train Musketeers as well. But a couple of longbows coming in to do some damage from range. So the Strats continuously fighting. The double blockhouses though do decent damage though. These guys, if they need to target something, target the Hussars. 30 with a 1.5 multiplier versus cavalry is certainly worth to make the most of. Musks get a good pop onto the Hussars. Now it's like, now the Russians training units and fight underneath the blockhouse. It feels like the Russian player's actually taking some decent trades now. He's actually getting into the game. But unfortunately, I think the Brit player's already well and truly in the game. Another batch of Hussar reinforcements. More Musketeers crossing the field as we speak. Herbie now is sending cavalry attack. 2 Hussars in queue. And the entire Russian army here has gone down. This blockhouse is on low HP. If Herbie focuses his one blockhouse down, that's just going to half the damage and the production capability here. The Russian player is going to go for a blockhouse at home. He's got one blockhouse at home as well. So Alligator's not short on production, let's say. But this is going to hurt. And yeah, 5 masks, especially popping out from this side. We'll try and get onto melee with the hussars here, but we'll just get picked off. And even the longbows being microed onto the musketeers there. That's a really nice touch there from Alligator. From Herbie, just making the most of every unit he has out on the field. And the GG's been called. Looks like Alligator losing this game. Herbie taking 2-0 over Alligator. Let's hear it for Herbie smashing it. I think a lot of people critically underrate Herbie's ability. I remember when I recently playing him thinking, why am I losing? But Herbie spends a lot of time actually plays a lot of team games, and I think his APM is on point. His decision making so far appears to be on point, and yeah, seems to be actually probably on the upper side of the bracket in terms of strength. It's only second game of Alligator. This is both the first series of both players, so it's a long way still to go. But Herbie leading this series 2-0. And we're going to move on into game number 3 of the Play All series. Let's just look at the post game while we're here. Resources, Brit obviously in the lead, but it's not too far. Obviously, you know, Brit killing many more, but most of these are Strelets. You know, the only thing really matters here is the timeline. I really hope that Age of Empires 4 has a good timeline. I do like a good timeline. It just tells you so much information about what's going on. It's utterly hopeless looking at Age of Empires 2 stats because it just tells you nothing. You got no idea what's happened. Or for example, you can see there's the big fight underneath the blockhouse, or away from the blockhouse, a large mass of Strelets about to come a big batch of hussars, and Herbie's running for it, tries to trade it for the best he can, but he loses so many units here. Batch gets picked off straight away, and it's a scrappy game. Another batch of Strelets come out. This is Cossacks being trained from the home stable, come across the map, but they're away from combat and does lose even more. And then yeah, at this point it's actually thinking Alligator's down to no units. Herbie's got his eco out working, he's got massive units going, and for a while it actually looked like the Russian player was trading very well, but as soon as that second blockhouse got broken, that defensive nut got cracked, the Brit player had won the game. Yeah, Russian eco though keeping up. This is where the new change from Russia really kicks in. This is where Russia is, if they can hold on and survive, they do catch up. And even at this point, 37 British villagers to 35 Russian villagers with the Age 1 distributism card. The Russian player has a better eco. He has much more cost-efficient units. He could still have sent boyars and having stronger units in that sense. He had a blockhouse providing population. The Brit player needs to break that to get the map control. This is where Russia shines. So, I mean, Alligator just needed to hold on to get to that point, and once he's in that point, could have gone better. So I think from Alligator's point of view, if I was to recommend something, view map, I think it would have been that stable at home. Although it seems so minor, there's just 3 or 4 times where that batch of Strets Cossacks, if they came into the fight a little bit sooner, could have gone very well. I really like the blockhouses behind the trees, so that's very awkward there for Herbie to siege. A lot of path issues I saw he had. But he couldn't really control hunts. There's 2 hunts behind the base, so I don't really feel bad for, you know, the Brit player having hunts and, you know, getting unable to control them, because that's not really his fault. That's just the map. And yeah, played really well. 2 blockhouses is always tough to break, but 3 blockhouses is near impossible. I did see this blockhouse at home. If there's some possibility that got thrown up into this forward base, all this fighting, extra 45 damage per hussar shot, or 30 for any infantry, stacks up over time. It really does. That could have been the difference there. But yeah, GG's. We'll move on to game number 3. Don't make double batch of Strelets after a fight. Yeah. Yeah, but then you had that really Strelet heavy competition versus a kind of like must cast, and just kind of felt a bit awkward there, didn't it? Right, let's just go for the next game here. Obviously into the TCL Alligator Herbie Alligator game number 3 of Play All 3 series. Isn't it nice? I don't need to hide recorded games because it's a Play All 3 series in this league format, so you know, I don't know who wins this game. Could be Herbie taking the 3-0 for round 1, or it could be Alligator sneaking back for the final game of the series. But we'll find out here. Fourth game, Himalayas. This is the home map of player B. That is Alligator. And because Herbie won the last game, he has to pick his civilization first. He's gone for the Ottomans on Himalayas. Alligator counter picking here with the Aztecs. I've played Alligator recently as him, playing as the Aztecs. And I was playing as the Dutch, my main squeeze. And unfortunately, that game lasted 50 minutes. It was an utter slugfest. I might upload it to YouTube, but I might just say go find it on the Twitch past broadcast. It was a cracking game. Now that I've talked about it, and this will probably go on YouTube, I'll probably have to upload it at some point. So, Alligator, apologies for that, but it was a fun game. But what I'm trying to say is Alligator, his Aztec play is decent. He has played Aztec before. He knows how to play the Aztecs, and I think it shows. Getting 30 XP there. He's going to try and keep his Explorer taking his final shot. Yeah, the Eagle Scout behind gets that extra batch of XP. 2 batches of 30 there. He does have 80 food treasure as well, but he's got this really early shipment. Manages to get the deck picked. 3 villagers. Maybe Alligator should be gets into the habit of picking a deck as soon as possible in the game. As soon as he's got any 3 APM capacity, early market, house, and the community plaza on the 300 wood. And I don't think he's got hunting dogs already. Yes, he has got, because he picked up a coin treasure, I think. So maybe he's mined 6 coin here. So he must have picked up a 45 coin treasure from the 2 monkeys, and then chopped for the hunting dog. So he's got a real strong early eco here, and a nice early timing for 3 villagers. Even Herbie's 3 villagers come in a very good time actually from the train post. But basically, if you're playing as a Euro civilization and you haven't done anything on the map, you only just get your shipments now. So the fact that these 2 civs have got their 3 vills in this early, it's a really good opening. Oh, that's so nice to see that Celtic Ascension coming in, which obviously is a bit of a splash damage attack, but boosts his Eagle Scout in combat as well versus the Tiger to do even more damage here. 1.8 multiplier versus the Tiger, and the Explorer here still doing the 3 multiplier, but I think it should go back down after it's finished. Maybe it's already had, or maybe they've changed it since I last played. I remember the time they used to have like your Guardians with you do more damage, but the thing was, this was pre-Eagle Scout Aztec when they removed the convert ability for animals. It just, Aztec Age 1 was utterly terrible, if any of you remember that. It's a bit of a meme it was. Okay, Herbie aging up here with the Quartermaster. 400 wood, chopping a lot of wood in transition here. Not looking to go for what many would say standard Botto FF here. Looks like Herbie wants to take mid-map here. Maybe Jan. Yeah, I reckon Jan's barracks stable. I'm not too sure you'd really want to go Jan Abus versus Aztec mid-map. I think the combination of Coyotes and the Mace in particular do very well versus kind of Jan Abus. But we'll have to find out. Alligator moving 2 villagers to the middle of the map. We have Herbie dropping down middle trading post. No ATP, but does have Silk Road. Decides to not go for the Silk Road build, where you leave all your crates on the floor, gather them up, or have all your villagers onto the hunt, have 1 villager gathering up the food, leaving 20 of each resource in the crate. So when you do send Silk Road, you get an extra 25, which means an extra 100 wood. So it means you can go for a house, 1 trading post, and then delayed 2nd trading post to really help you take early map control. Age up the Quartermaster, that will give you more wood, and then every other shipment here, that comes like 875 resources. That's, yeah, it's just incredibly strong Silk Road, I think, for Ottomans. How many times has Herbie paused the micro in this series? Ah, bans are coming in. If any of you see a pause mid-fight and you suspect your opponent's cheating, let me know. Pop me a message. Say, Herbie's pause micro and it's not fair. He's kicking my ass. I need somebody to admin DQ him because I can't beat him normally. Send it to my email at Harrison AOE3 saltytears@gmail.com, and I'll quickly move your email to the trash can, which is the the sponsor of this league, the Trash Can League. Anyway, Warhut mid-map, we do have another potential train post here from Herbie. He's looking down to the south. Is Alligator going to try and move and take the third to prevent a full route here from Herbie? That 400 wood has been making good use, but he's behind us. He sent 700 wood as well, which I'm not really too sure is going to help him at this moment. He's going to try and go for Stagecoach, third trading post it seems, another house, and one more production facility. The two villas moving back in. 700 coin here. Is he going to go for Artillery Foundry? He's going for Artillery Foundry, it does seem. So he's going to go for Jan Abus behind this. I just have a feeling that maybe early Hussars might be better. But in-base hunt is very limited. There is 2 coin mines, and the 700 coin coming in is a nice macro shipment to get your Abus guns out. A couple of free shots there from the Janissaries into the Mace Sultans, especially these guys moving faster and having more range. That should never happen. Just sieging a trading post, you kind of should feel that is basically on the cards and coming in at this moment in time. Coin being sent home behind here. No Silk Road on these crates, so it is only the 700. But from Herbie's point of view, 5 Jans coming afterwards now. 2 Jan in queue. Hasn't yet got an Abus in queue behind this. So he wants to try and squeeze the maximum value here from the barracks as he can. Maybe get a 3rd Jan. He does get the 3rd Jan. But his army is only 8 Jans at the moment. That's the thing. If Alligator just sends maces, he's got his 9 on Taunting Slingers or Mace Sultans on the field. He's training a batch of Coyotes to basically dunk on the Abus guns. Herbie's moving back. He knows he hasn't really got the forces just yet. He has to wait for that coin eco to kind of roll through and the 5 Jans to hit the floor. So there's 5 Jans in the field. Sending all his Janissaries top side to try and deal with the Puma Spearman. Alligator knows this. He's got the scout there ready. And Herbie, watch out, mate. There's going to be a lot of slingers on his Jans nearby. And this is where the Hussar opening here from Ottoman could help kind of basically protect your army in this situation. I don't feel that Jan Abus is what you want versus the cheap slingers. Spearman come from behind. I think they're trying to get the snare off, but the villagers have seen the Mace Sultans seen a couple of vills, out come a couple of Abus there on their own. So that's another vill going down. And these guys, 4.5 speed, will they go for the Abus or going for the Jans? They're going to go for the Jans. It looks like the Explorer not slowing down, actually, same speed. Explorer in cover mode, though, tanking a little bit. Spearman looking to be annoying as well and harass in that sense. But yeah, these Mace Sultans are doing quite well, and the Abus have gone the other way to try and retreat back to the army. And yeah, the Coyotes are swiftly on their tail, managing to get them out of harm's way. But it feels awkward being pushed this far back already. Another batch of 5 Coyotes on the field. Janissaries will have to stand and cover for the Abus guns if he can't really get any more units onto the field to reinforce. But his reinforcements are here. His army is here, and the enemy is in between. It's going to be tough for Herbie. For Herbie to get back and defend his forward position. Herbie's got 3 Hussars coming out. 2 Abus guns just being produced in the front sea of Coyotes. There's the 3 Huss. He's housed. He hasn't got enough for a full batch of Jans here. Looks like Minutemen have been called. They're already down to half HP. Obviously, these are the European Minutemen. They do go below 100 HP. 3 Hussars coming across the field, charging as fast as possible. Mace Sultans on the wrong side of the Udasi Temple here. Coyotes are quite fast. They will just move to the northern side and link up. But a little bit of a fight back here from Herbie. Looks like he's got enough to defend this position. But Alligator's got the Warhut nearby. Another batch of slingers will come out. Pathing around train posts here in Coin Mine, notoriously bad. It's a real nice defensive place to ever fight on Himalayas, is just the trading post. Because you know that you got this cliff, temple, Coin Mine, trading post. Villagers, units can't really walk through this little rectangle here. And this choke point here is any units which can't go through this go all the way around it. And it's very nice to utilise, and I like Alligator's position in this fight so much at the moment. Fight coming down though. Alligator not having the war dance on the fire pit just yet, it seems like. Will he change that over? Not quite yet. He's only got 1 dancer, so it's not the biggest war dance, but the Coyotes just tanking so much Jan fire, and the Mace Sultans doing the damage behind. The Hussars cut down quickly, and there's just not enough Jans here to protect. And yeah, Jans, they're quite a bad unit versus Hussar units, even versus Coyote runners, and this is, yeah, note to self, if you're playing this matchup, it's Jan Hassar. You can't. The Aegis guns here, they're not doing enough versus the Mace Sultans, and these guys, they do get 2 shot here by an Aegis gun, but that does involve quite a bit of split micro, so you know, so only have 2 Aegis guns firing at 1 Mace Sultan at a time, and that game's been called. Alligator coming back into the series and taking the final game to have this series end 2-1 for Herbie. So 2 points there for Herbie, 1 point there for Alligator, and some good games all round. I enjoyed those series. Probably the highlight was game 1 and the position for Alligator thought he was in, taking the fight and just watching Inca just crush his army while he's watching his cav combat coming in for like his decimated army. Brutal, brutal, brutal. So yeah, good series, good games, and let's see how his players move on in the tournament and how they play versus everybody else. So if you've liked this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, make sure you do so you get to see all the other casted games get uploaded to this channel as well. And certainly check out Herbie's Twitch. Herbie streams quite a bit. Not too sure Alligator does. Yeah, Alligator does actually. He does under the Greater Gator channel. So yeah, do check out both players, and I'll see you in the next series.